All right. I have like no topic on my mind today. I just
I
I
will
have
say
I
the
have a
last few episodes have been very
what?
cigar centric and
Yeah,
heavy,
I've had topics, but my
and we've
mind is
had
mush. We have a busy 3 days, and then I'm going to Maine.
nice. I
So
just came back from Maine.
I got yelled at when you told me about that restaurant on the
Uh-oh.
boat, and I'm like, oh, Secret Chris said about this restaurant. She's like, that's like on our list of places that like I did like I already told you about that, and I'm like, I forgot.
It's
There was a whole. I told him like there's a whole Modern Family episode about this, about like the wife telling the husband about like Caesar salads or something, and
yeah.
his like buddy tells him, he's like, oh, Caesar salads are great.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Um, but no, we're gonna have a really nice time. She organized a whole nice trip we're gonna do, but it's just gonna be 3 days of hell until I get out of here. Just so much to do. But we're capping off this week with a nice brand new cigar. This is the new Las Calaveras from Crown Heads 2024 edition. Full Nicaraguan cigar made at my father. Uses Nicaraguan Habano wrapper. Very good, and I think John hit what he was aiming for with this when he was trying to. Sorry, I have a lot of acid reflux going on today, so
You're all
I'm
good.
gonna be a nightmare.
You're all good.
What he was aiming for with this, which was to kind of emulate the 2015 blend. Listen, all the I've never had a bad Las Calaveras, but if someone were to ask me like, you know, what is like the one, it's tied between 2014 and 2015. Those two blends were just. I think what happened is that they were kind of ahead of their time, so they just really hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone else kind of caught up. So while the Las Calaveras have been like excellent since then, there's things that might be like kind of similar out there. Whereas in 2014 and 15, those were kind of in a league all their
Yeah.
own. And the Las Calaveras still is. It made our top 25 several years. It's still one of the best cigar releases every year. And I think this one is, so far, it's excellent.
He started it in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
That
Okay.
was the first year. I can't remember.
So he came out like back to back. You were saying like one of the best.
Yeah, the 2015 blend was Skibbity Toilet. Hold on. Ecuadorian Habano Rosado wrapper and Nicaraguan filler and binder. That was 2015. So 2014 was half wheel really is just so clutch. 14 was Ecuadorian Habano Oscuro.
Mm.
But it's weird, and you never know what it is. You never know if it's a band thing or if it's whatever. But like La Imperiosa is a really, really good cigar that it's one of their bigger sellers too. That immediately followed the first Las Calaveras and uses the exact same blend. He's basically like, oh, this was so successful, let me turn this into a regular blend.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's different. But then again, I'm going off of a memory of a cigar 10 years ago. But when Imperiosa first came out, I thought it was really good. But I'm like, there's something of when you release a cigar like Las Calaveras or like the Tatuaje Monster, there is like a magic and an aura to it that if they release that same blend in a different thing next year, it just doesn't hit the same way. So there is kind of a, again, I don't want to say it's like you get kind of hyped up into the marketing aspect of it, but like a little. Listen, if marketing didn't work, no one would need to worry about it. So like there is a part of that where it all comes together for like a full story of a cigar.
Did he marketed the Imperiosa as this is the same exact blend as the 2014?
I can't remember if that's how it was initially marketed, but I'm pretty sure it was.
So when you went into smoking that, like, were you trying to like be like find ways that it might be different, or because I think what you said is perfect. I think marketing and the band will probably play tricks on you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what my mindset was the first time I smoked it, but also, it came out a year and a half probably after the 2014s were out. So by that point, I hadn't smoked one of those cigars in over a year.
Yeah.
I've only smoked one 2014 since 2014, and I don't know if it was John, somebody sent us some, like, about a year and a half ago. I don't know if John might have, or somebody did. Maybe one of our fans that like sent us a cigar. Somebody gave me a 14 and a 15, and I can't remember who it was. But anyway, But other than that, these blends are one and done. Once they're gone, that's it. So you do have a hard time trying to like compare it or like what was it like. I mean, La Imperiosa is a great cigar. And actually, I think probably like the new John always has an underdog blend. Unfortunately, there's always.
What would you say? Like,
for a while, I thought it was J.D. Howard.
Okay.
Like, just the one that doesn't get the love that it should for how good it is. And then he discontinued J.D. Howard, I think, to a degree. Maybe he still does in LE, but now I do think it's La Imperiosa. Also, it was like the CHCs, like the court.
Where do you think Jericho Hill stands in there?
Jericho Hill gets its love.
Yeah, I see it a lot online.
Jericho Hill gets
I
its
do
love.
see it a lot online in people's
Jericho Hill
collection.
gets it. Four Kicks gets it. Las Calaveras definitely gets it. Mil Diaz definitely gets it. We'll see about Coronetta over the next year or so. La Vereda certainly got it. Yeah. I know that was kind of like a little more limited thing, but yeah, his regular one now, that's probably it's probably La Imperiosa and don't tell me. Oh, come on, Nick, you can find it in your mind. What's the one? We had a private label with it too. It's named after where Led Zeppelin recorded their album.
Headley Grange.
Headley Grange. Headley Grange probably is not getting.
No, yeah. I mean, when I first started working here, I think obviously his catalog wasn't as deep as it is now because he's been putting out a lot. Headley Grange was like I think one of the first cigars Greg gave me, and was like
he turned 40. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. Happy birthday.
We should clip this part.
I will.
Happy birthday, Greg. You got to clip this. Clip this part and send it to him. You don't have to put it out, but you said it. Happy birthday to Greg. Wow, he's 40. He looks it. Yeah. Let me tell you that. He looks the same that he did 5 years ago. So he just looks every minute of it.
Yes.
But no, happy birthday to Greg. I gotta hit him up. We do like a catch up every like a couple of months.
Yeah,
he's busy. He's busy. He's doing logistics.
Yeah, I texted him on his birthday, and he just said that he just said thanks. Usually we get into more of a discussion. But yeah, no, I can't believe. Yeah, I thought he was younger for some reason. But
like I said, he looked it. I'm actually surprised he just turned 40. Could have sworn
he's been 40.
Yeah, could have
since birth.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I always when you have a more limited marketing machine when you're a company that's Crown Heads' size, so you can only put assets in certain places at certain times. But even larger companies, you always see cigars that eventually just fall under the radar, because you're starting to move towards new things, and it didn't necessarily have the inertia to kind of survive on its own. Like Four Kicks can kind of survive on its own at this point. And he's also done like many additional releases, the Capa Especial,
the Mule Kick a few years ago.
Yeah, but La Imperiosa, I feel like, and J.D. Howard was he sent me some old J.D. Howards maybe 2 years ago that like they had like yellow cellophane on them. They were phenomenal. I
don't think I've had a chance to smoke one of those.
Well, it's also the same thing with the Las Mareas. I mean, that got its ass kicked when I first came out, just because La Carême came out the exact same trade show.
You were saying 2 or 3 years ago, I think when you did the Mother Church event in Tennessee, I think around that time, a lot of people were asking about that, whether it be like in our comments, one person at the event.
People are still like, I have 2 or 3 in my humidor at home that every time I'm going through looking for something to smoke, I see them and I'm like, I'm going to hold on to these. These could be like, I can probably get a decent trade out of these ones.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Because people are, I only will do trade. Like I don't like saving cigars too much, but I would do a trade for something that like maybe I never got to smoke that's out there. Yeah.
I never really got into that either.
I used to be into it, and then I got involved in like the Reddit world, and I'm sorry, but the cigar Reddit community, I don't know if it's changed, but it was a nightmare.
No, I don't. I'm not in depth in that. I go on there once in a blue moon just to see. Like I'll do, I'll look up JR Cigars. I'll look up. There's one gentleman. I don't know if it was a gentleman. Just one person ranked his favorite cigar podcast. We were number 2.
Who was number 1?
The Cigar Guys.
They beat us?
Yeah.
Bastards.
But I liked what they said about it. But yeah, you just don't
let them back here no more until we get up in the ranking.
Until we get
See, this is what happens. You bring people on, you give them exposure. No more.
And then they beat us.
Yeah.
But no, it just does seem pretty toxic still, just how people respond.
The funny thing is, like, I'm on other Reddits for, whatever, X-Men or like whatever thing I'm kind of randomly searching into and I'm reading on the Reddit. And people are having like pleasant conversations in there, like, oh, you should check out this one. But then for some reason, the cigar one is always just like assholes.
Yeah, I don't know either why. Andy was telling us a story about how some guy on Reddit was basically putting like JR on blast with something. And Andy didn't say like, I work there, but Andy's like, you just got to believe me. That's not like the way it goes. Well, and Andy was so close to being like, because I guess if you say you work there, most people are going to be like, oh, you work for, some people might be like, you work for the big man, like the man, or like
that's how it
the
was
machine.
with me. And then they started threatening
so you don't
my life,
want,
and I got out of there real quick.
Yeah, you don't want that,
Well, from what I've seen, the people who really like are on there that are really angry, surprisingly, are more old timers. It's people who like JR used to be great. Like they want to go back to the Lou 70s, Rothman days 80s, of just like super cheap bundles and they don't even do bundle deals anymore. Like that was like, it's crazy. You would think that like Reddit being like an internet kind of forum would be, but actually I don't know if a lot of newer people are like doing forums anymore. Like I don't know if Gen Zers are on forums. I think they're just like on Instagram and TikTok.
I think it's the digital version, isn't it? Like Twitch. Like I don't know anything about Twitch
or Discord or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Like Discord.
Yeah, like forums. When I first started in this industry, forums like BOTL and like these were big deals. And now I feel like they just between the toxicity and then I guess those people getting aged out. I don't know.
Well, during COVID, I was on the app Clubhouse, which Discord kind of came out around the same time, and it seems like Discord has skyrocketed, or it became popular during COVID. I don't know when it came out, but Clubhouse was very toxic.
I feel like Discord is used for like when you want to see somebody's leaked nudes. People are on Discord for like that kind of like weird, like you can't really have it online anymore because like it's leaked, but like Discord
has it. Yeah. But Twitter or X has the rooms, the spaces, I think they call it, where people can come in and talk. But yeah, it's just.
I would like to do some kind of like Q&A thing, but I don't want it to be on any platform. Not that I need to be like protected. Listen, if someone wants to be an asshole, I'll be an asshole right back.
Yeah.
But to do something like that via Reddit, it would just be immediate, like, you fucking got. But like somewhere where people go, hey, you used to do this. Why don't we do this anymore? And I can explain. We can explain to people how the industry is changing, how the business is changing. It's always good to have an open dialogue with your consumer, especially when you are trying to transition to something different. And you've kind of been the same thing for. You can't just all of a sudden start selling new stuff and do a paint job and then expect your customers to follow.
Exactly.
It is important to have communication with people to kind of bring them along on the journey.
The best interaction I've seen so far is the comments through our blog on both on JR. Everyone is very complimentary, saying I love always get good deal. You do get some people who.
What are they saying about me?
Not really. It's just more about the deals, right? YouTube will get like we'll get more comments about you and I, which are more on the positive side. The negative I feel like when I first started.
Oh yeah,
there's just so many negative, but I think just people out there think they know more and they look at us and they're like, oh, well, these guys are professionals. Now I'll never label myself as a professional in anything.
You should.
No, I know. No, because everyone thinks they're always going to know more than you.
Oh yeah.
And it's just not the case, because when we're doing things like these, it's the knowledge that is being stored up here where we're talking about. We're not in front of computers. We're trying not to be on our phones. You got someone probably watching an episode and they're fact checking us every day.
I mean, I told you, somebody's been messaging me.
Yeah, and it's just all right. If give us a little grace or give us a little bit like, all right, we're trying to think from memory. Yeah. You've been in the industry for 14, 15 years?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of information to obtain, right?
Yeah.
And you're constantly working on new things. Like it's really like, listen, we're not saving lives here, but it seems like your job, your position, and just stuff in general, it's fast paced in a regard. So sometimes it's tough to remember things that came out in 2012, 2013.
Well, I mean, listen, it's keyboard warrior type shit. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan is the be all and end all, but the amount of times that like people are just like, "Can you believe he said that?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, he talks like he has 3-hour conversations 18 times a week with like different geniuses, and he's like a regular guy. I'm sure he's gonna get some stuff wrong, and I'm sure like I'm not gonna follow him to like the ends of the earth. But the reason I like him is because he's asking questions.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, dumb this down for me. What does this mean?"
Yeah, I like his episodes with comedians. I listened to the Adam Sandler one. I loved that one because they're just talking about their comedy.
Every
days.
time he just said something out of time, I'm like, "Oh, thank you, buddy." Oh,
yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
buddy.
buddy. Oh, that's awesome, buddy.
No, that Adam Sandler one was cool.
He's like, yeah, I elbowed someone in the neck. Oh, no shit, buddy.
Oh, no shit, buddy. I forgot that he's from Massachusetts.
I didn't know he was born in New Hampshire.
He's been so associated with New York, and he's like always plays a New Yorker and everything except for like Mr. Deeds. But then he ends up living in New York anyway.
Yeah,
he always plays like a New
Jets
Yorker.
fan, Mets fan, Knicks fan. You know, like
Yankees. Anger management. He was at the Yankee game. Like he's always just been like this New Yorker.
Yeah, I forgot.
But I guess that there's still a touch of that.
Oh, you could hear it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, really good, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, guys, just come on. Like, we're just talking here. We have some That's also why I have people on, and ask them questions. Yeah. We're not pontificating here.
Do manufacturers, do they do like AMAs on Reddit?
We used to
if
like
they
do it
did,
with them sometimes, but like it just.
How was it? Like, how would people respond to like?
Honestly, dude, it was over 10 years ago. Last time I did one. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if
Caldwell or like with Matt Booth, I did one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see them on there and how they would be received.
I think they stopped doing it too because I think it just got toxic.
Yeah.
I don't know why this industry it has like Marvel level toxic fandom. It's like, guys, it's cigars. You either like it or you don't, and we don't care if you do or don't. Like, we're gonna sell everything. I don't care what you like. We sell it. Come and get it. So you don't like general alternatives? Don't smoke it. It's fine. Smoke something else.
I don't think I've been around long enough to see or really pay attention to, I guess, the hate that JR gets online from people who love the small boutique or small brick and mortar stores, right? Because I do feel like, anyway, people I've come across here or, people I work with now, they're always like, if you go up to Maine, I guarantee you, if you come across a cigar shop, I think you would stop in. Like, I think a lot of people have that mentality here. So I don't know if it was like that before I started or anything like that. But if I see a cigar store, I'm not going to be like, sniff my nose at it, right? You want to see what they're carrying, like the selection, the vibe of the lounge.
We view it very. If he did this again. Oh, never mind.
It's something important now.
It was an actual question, but I'm like, if he got me again, I'm gonna kill him. No, I've always, if I drive by and I see cigar shop, I always stop in.
Yeah.
Because for us, it's a community, and guess what? A lot of the brick and mortar people who were like hating on us for years ago, they ruined the industry, this and that. During COVID, a lot of them made e-commerce sites, and now that's a big part of their bit. Listen, it's the nature of like, yeah. But I would never sacrifice a brick and mortar for us. Like, you need that. Like, that needs to be part of the industry. I love sitting in a brick and mortar. I absolutely love it. And I've always been a big advocate for that. But no, it's just, dude, everyone's got a fucking problem. They either, it's two sides. You either get the people who are like, oh, these big guys pushing out all those small brick and mortars, or you get the guys that are like, you used to be big guys and give, things are so much cheaper. And now it's like, well, if you want to support brick and mortar, like, we're selling it cheaper than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't know what you want here, like what your point with all this is. Just don't shop here if you don't like it.
I mean, it's simple as that.
So much anything besides like war or like race, like big heavy topics. Yeah. Anything else has always been like, well, then just don't do it.
Yeah.
If you don't like the Schneider cut, don't watch it. Like, why you
don't like certain marketing schemes? All right, then don't shop there.
Yeah,
like they're still gonna make money.
Like the amount of people who like go on Facebook to say that they don't like something. I saw this and I didn't like it, or I went to eat here and I didn't like it. Okay.
Their executives are still sleeping soundly at the end of the night. Like, I don't. That's why I never got, we're talking about a bunch of random stuff. That's why I never understood Yelp reviews or people who were going to leave a bad Yelp review. I think they are saving others from going, because there are people out there that, and maybe this is a bad thing on my part. If I'm going to a new restaurant, I tend to not look at the menu ahead of time.
I do. I need to see what's going on.
You need to see what's going on. Sometimes it's bit me in the ass. Sometimes it hasn't. But I like still going there, seeing what they have, reading the menu. But I don't look at, it's all word of mouth. If you go somewhere and say, this place was really good, or I didn't really like it, I would trust that versus reading a Yelp review, in my opinion. But I think people really, I remember one of my friends, I won't say who, they spent a day and a half. We were hanging out with them on a weekend. They spent like a day and a half mulling over how they're going to write this bad Yelp review. And like at that point, I was like, why is it still in your mind? We've been to a few other restaurants. We've already done other stuff. Like, was it really that bad? But people need to hear, people need to feel like
self-important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't own a restaurant, so I don't even know if they are like,
listen,
restaurants are like, read them or give a shit. I just don't know.
It's not like someone's going to go to the restaurant, have a bad experience, and then be like, but you know what? I didn't read online that they do bad experiences, so I'm going to go back. It's like, you go there, you don't like it, you don't go back. Eventually, enough people aren't going to go back, and they close.
Yeah.
I don't mind a couple of star ratings, but like it should be only like, it should be it should not be negative. It should be like number of 5-star ratings. It should not be like, this is their average rating. It should be like, if you went there and you liked it, you give it a 5-star rating. If you didn't, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
I mean, honestly, it's the same thing with YouTube. And I know this might sound like beta or whatever, but like, I didn't mind when they got rid of the down thumb, because it's like, you're going to watch them just be like, I don't like this. Okay, cool.
Yeah, showing
I don't know about anyone else. I don't go around asking people what they don't like. I go around asking people what they like.
Yeah.
I could give a shit less what you don't like.
Yeah.
It does nothing for me and our relationship to find out what you don't like. Find out what you like, and I can give you that.
Yeah, it's shocking when you're talking to someone.
Oh, you don't like mushrooms? All right, I'll make sure not to give them to you.
Yeah.
Why do you tell me what you like?
You're not a fan of a specific, like sushi or Chinese food. All right, we'll do something else. Then, because
I noticed out of every pizzeria in New Jersey, this guy didn't review these 2. I'm assuming they're probably bad, but like I don't.
Yeah.
The only person I give a pass to is Dave Portnoy, because
he built his
he generally will only like squash a place if it's really, really bad and if they're giving him really poor service. He won't go. Yeah. And even things that are not his style, if he deems it like it's still a good quality of food, he gives it a higher rating.
Yeah, there was that one, like when he gave it a 0, when that guy was like, "All right,
Godfather Pizza in like Kentucky or something.
You can get off my property," and then the other guy this past year or two who like came out and just was
he was like a
he was
super.
Just like, you're an asshole. You're bad for small business, like all this stuff.
That's one of those guys. That's one of those like gotcha people. Like he was like waiting for Dave Portnoy to come and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna use and I'm gonna show him that because I'm a whatever." Like I don't want to get. I'm not gonna say the guy was of a certain political nature, but I think you guys can kind of guess which one he was. It's like very, very like, I'm gonna go get him, and it's like.
And you went after him after he bought pizza,
and then he like went on to his Instagram and was like, oh, I'm glad I did. And then he just got torched by people for like, I'm curious if he's even still open. But this guy is coming in and he's like, first of all, he's like, I don't like how you only do, my pizza's worth more than one bite. I'm like, have you ever watched the review? He eats a whole slice. He never just does one bite. He eats a whole pizza. He's
buying a pie, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's buying a pie and
some of them probably give it to him for free, right? Like here and there. But he's getting a whole pie. He's probably sharing it with Frankie and his other crew.
Yeah.
Like, or if people come up, he'll do that. Like, I
also hate people who like. I saw one where he was doing it, and like some kid. When I say kid, maybe like 18 or 20. He's like, "Yo, can I grab a slice?" And just gets into the video because he's gonna be like, "Yeah, sure." Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I would never ever see like a famous person doing a thing. And just like try to get involved. Yeah,
I've talked myself out of a few celebrity interactions because I was where the cameras are. I was in New Orleans and Anthony Anderson was with his wife, and I just did not want to bother him.
Yeah,
He was with his wife.
He's also someone I probably
Kids
wouldn't
came up to him and were like, "Hi, Mr. Anderson. Nice to meet you." He's like, "You guys got to go back, come back." And it seemed like you're at least a little happy to like talk to me. Like it was joking. And then he talked to that family for a half hour. I was like, I guess I could have. I just don't, because you never know. Because it's either one or two things. They'll be happy to see you or they'll be like, get the fuck out of my face. So it's like,
I'll do it. If I see somebody on a plane, and I've like a couple of times I've done it, I've seen this. No one ever like super duper famous, but like somebody from like the Giants or like, you know, something like that. I just walk by them. I'm like, hey man, big fan. And then 100% of the time, I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
Yep,
and they're super cool. You know, like if like, cause you see like Tom Segura, like he hates like,
yes.
But if I walk by him on the plane, I'm just walking by him, I'm like, hey man, big fan. He'd be like, all right, thanks, man. He's, you know, he wouldn't be like anyone who's a dick to that. You're a dick.
Yes.
But if I'm coming up to you like when you're knee deep in spaghetti trying to get an autograph, you're kind of allowed to be a dick.
Yes, I agree. Because you think about it, would you want that to happen if you're out? No. I don't want.
No. Well, I think the synopsis of all this is just a lot of dicks out there, man. There's just so many. And they span every
reason.
Race, gender, orientation. Like everyone's got assholes.
Yeah.
It really does. It really is. That's my whole thing about why there shouldn't be racism or sexism or homophobia. It's like, listen, at the end of the day, we all got jackasses. Every group's got them. Like why don't we all get rid of our jackasses? And then everyone lets us just going to be super chill.
Place. Yeah.
You know, let's not worry about like the defining part of people, I think, is whether or not they're an asshole.
Yeah.
That's like, because I've talked to people with vastly different political views, religions, experiences, but they weren't an asshole. So it's like, oh yeah, like this is an interesting conversation. Once you get an asshole, that's when it becomes argumentative. And
I've noticed that too. It's I know we try not to get super like, I guess, political on here, but people wearing their, you know, on both sides wearing their political stance as like their personality. And at the end of the day, like if you're nice to me, if you're nice to my wife and my kid, as long as you are a really nice person and you're not a creep and you're not, you know, I don't care who you vote for.
Yeah,
like I don't care what your political party is, because I don't wear my political party as like a badge of honor or like a personality trait, right? But I have certain views on thinking like no one really, you know, the big guys don't really. I don't think the big guys care about.
You're a big fan
us.
of fascism.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like we're really big into it, from what I remember. Like big,
we're lying,
big time.
Please, I don't want to get fired. But no, yeah. I think what you said is if we got rid of all like the jackasses essentially in all walks of life, I think the world would be a better place.
Get rid of the Karens and then whatever that version is for guys.
Yeah, I don't know what is the version. Is it Kyle's? Is it Kevin?
I don't like that because I know a nice Kevin.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I know a nice Kyle.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if I know a nice Karen. Do I know a nice Karen? I think I knew a nice Karen like in high school.
I just love how that name has become like the staple for like someone who's.
It got really close to Carol, which is my mom's name.
Oh yeah, your mom dodged a bullet. Yeah, let me see your manager.
Yeah,
is a Karen.
My mom can be a little bit of a Karen sometimes. I have to like calm her down, but not out of like rudeness. Out of like she just doesn't know behavior.
Do you think all of us could have a little bit of Karen in us if we really?
Yeah, I'm getting more and more of it. And when I say that, I mean I'm just like standing up for myself.
Yeah,
places.
Which is good.
Because I used to just be like I ordered a salad and they bring me a steak and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's fine. But now I'm like, nah, like especially like the amount of money everything costs now. If I go and I order my iced coffee at Starbucks for $5.60, and I pull up and they give me a hot coffee, literally, dude, I used to just take it and be like, "Oh, thank you. I'm just gonna go put an ice in it."
Yeah.
Now I'm like, no, this is not what I ordered.
Yeah,
and I'm not a dick about it. Again, not a dick about it, but I'm like,
I used to be the same exact way. But I don't give a shit. But yeah, one of my close buddies, he moved out to the West Coast, I think like a little bit after high school, and he's been out there since. And him and his girlfriend at the time came out to visit home, and we went out to eat, and I saw our waiter walking by, and I just, excuse me, can I get a side of blue cheese? And she's like, sure, no thing. And his girlfriend was appalled that I did that. Like, how could you, like, why did you, I would have never done that. We would have never done that out, you know, I think they were from Oregon. She was from Oregon. I would have never done that. And I like looked at my buddy, he kind of laughed because he's kind of like, there's certain things when I went to go visit him, I was like giving him like a pep talk on something. He's like, God damn, I missed that like Jersey
the waiters in the Northeast, like you go to like a Peter Luger's or something, they're assholes right back to you. Like it's like they get it. It's hustle.
But I didn't
bustle.
think that was an asshole thing. I just think I saw my waiter walking by and just ask him for something I want.
Yeah, as long as you didn't go like, hey.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't shout across the restaurant. And she's like, I just would have waited until he came back. I was like, well, if he came back,
keep this warm for me, hun. Like,
yeah. If I would have came back, well, if my meal was done, then I don't need it. Like I would just like it now. And she just wasn't getting it. And it was just, that was probably one of the first times, it only happened recently, like one of the first times where I was like, wow, it's, parts of the United States are vastly different. Like I go visit Florida, sometimes I'm still like, I can't believe I lived here for 5 years because it's just it's different from what I have become and who I am. You know,
I can't believe you live there either. I can't believe anyone lives there.
It's not that bad.
Man, it's really bad today. Oh. I like kind of what Florida stands. It's literally like the state. It's like the environment of Florida. I can't do. I can't do the environment, the weather. There's alligators and mosquitoes. Like, look, I'm telling you, the conquistadors wrote in their diaries, like, oh, this is like we've literally found like hell on Earth. Like it was hurricanes and unbearable heat and humidity and every kind of typhus and bug. Yeah. It's just
why do you think Miami gets such a bad like rap? Because everyone's like, I don't like Miami.
I don't like.
That's not from there.
I don't like wealthy trash cities, and when I say that, I mean like not trash, but like kind of gaudy.
Yeah.
Like Vegas is like that to me. Like Vegas has some of the best restaurants. Like I like going there for like the trade show and like going to the restaurant. But like as like when you look at it, it's like gaudy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like older, like a Venice or a Munich. You know, I like a more traditional city. Or if you want to go like very modern, like a Dubai.
Yeah.
You know, like that. But like when it's just like a bunch of like to me a Lamborghini is like a trash rich car.
Yeah.
Like the classy rich don't drive Lamborghinis. They drive Bentleys, Aston Martin, Bugatti, like things that a Ferrari can like kind of straddle on both worlds. But Miami is a big Lamborghini town. You know what I mean? It's like the American dream, quick money. I did something, I made it on TikTok, I got a podcast, I'm gonna go buy 12 Lamborghinis and just live in Miami. You know?
It's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Or go live in Vegas. Floyd Mayweather is like in Vegas and Miami. Like that's where he lives.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm like, that kind of espoused. Like Jake Paul was like Miami and Vegas. I'm like, that fits you.
That should, it's not like Los Angeles that much. I mean, everyone's in Los Angeles, but yeah.
I like a classy, subtle, woods kind of thing. Like I like old money. If I'm gonna be rich, I want to be old money rich. I don't want to be new money rich.
I feel like you probably get that a lot in the Carolinas.
Yeah, or like New England, upstate New York, like those kind of places.
Yeah.
Some places around DC, like you can kind of get that.
I haven't been to Miami in, probably like 6-7 years. So I think my mentality would change with it. Like I would just be like,
I like the parts when I went a couple years ago with Greg. Like we went a little Havana. And here's the thing: they're a good time.
Yeah.
Like Miami's a good time. Like Las Vegas is a good time. But like, there's no like. Miami does have some culture because it's got like a big art section and a lot of the Cuban influence. So it does have like some culture to it, but it doesn't have like, I don't know. I feel like those cities don't have like a heart to, like no one's really from Miami. No one's really from Vegas,
which makes New York City interesting because most of them are
like those like. I mean, Austin has like a kind of a flux now, but like Austin of 10 years ago, Nashville 10 years ago, New Orleans. LA, I guess, because now it's been around like 70 years, so I guess LA has has developed its own thing. But yeah, New York, Boston, there's no like, even like the old like Cleveland, Cincinnati, there's no like heart. Like Miami and Vegas are like Lamborghinis.
Yeah, yeah.
They're fast and exciting and flashy. But like, there's no American muscle cars have like a heart to it, like people really take care of them. They have them for like or Bentleys. Like these are like they're built with like heart. Whereas like something like a Lambo is just like
cast
Put
aside.
the biggest engine in the biggest piece of plastic you can find.
I hope Nashville doesn't turn out like that.
It already has. Apparently, it's all touristy now. And
yeah, I mean, I
talked to John about it, and he's just like, it's terrible.
I'm sure I think when I went down there with Greg with him in like 2021, yeah, he's like, no, I lived like 30, 40 minutes outside the city. I don't want to be dealing with any of that because it's all under construction too. Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, when you have influxes of people who want to move there because they like the culture of a certain place, sometimes they end up taking over the culture of a certain place, and it loses its identity.
Yeah.
New York has been great in that its whole point was taking in people from everywhere.
Yeah.
So it always had a kind of melting pot vibe.
Yeah. All 5 boroughs are so different.
Yeah. Staten Island is Italian. Long Island is Italian. The Bronx is like
Latin, right?
Hispanic. Like the Bronx is like a lot of Hispanic culture to it. Speaking of Spanish Harlem,
Brooklyn. I know
Brooklyn is like the L.A. where it's like it used to have heart and now it's like a different kind of thing. Whatever. All right, we're getting into geography now. But I think we had a we did a shotgun of topics. A lot of different topics. But make sure to check out the delicious Las Calaveras 2024 at JR. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, keep it lit.